Okay, Chapter 7, working on trade discounts and invoices. We're going to do the drill problems and the summary practice test. Just heads up, your numbers may not be the same as mine because I may have a different edition of the textbook. Plus, the Connect activities are algorithms, so that will generate different types of values for each time that you attempt the homework assignment. So anyway, we're going to kind of walk through it, and hopefully this will be helpful for you in calculating this. Now, on the first question in Chapter 7 in the drill problems for the end of the chapter problems, I'm going to walk through exactly the way that they really want you to work it out, and then I'm going to kind of clean it up and show you how to simplify this just a little bit. So the very first question is number 1. It's the Apple iPad. And the list price is $799, and the chain discount is 3% and a 1% discount. And we are going to calculate the net cost equivalent. We're going to calculate the single discount equivalent. And we're going to create the calculate for the trade discount. And we're going to find the net price of this invoice. Okay. So first, the net cost equivalent, we are going to take the complement of 3% and 1%. So that technically equals 0.97 times 0.99. And that will equal your net cost equivalent of 0.9603. Okay, to calculate for your single discount equivalent, we're going to subtract the net cost equivalent from 1. And that will equal 0.0397. Okay, now to calculate for the trade discount, I can multiply the single discount equivalent to the list price of $7.99, and that will equal $31.72. And then as far as the net price is concerned, I can take the net cost equivalent of let's see, that's your trade discount. If I took 0.9603, which is your net cost equivalent, and then multiplied that times $7.99, that will equal your net price of $767.28. Okay, so there we have it as far as question number 1 is concerned. Okay, number 2. Number 2 is for a Blu-ray, a Samsung Blu-ray player. I'll just call it a player right here. And we're going to still be calculating for the net cost equivalent, the single discount equivalent, the trade discount, and the net price. First, I need to know what the list price is. And the list price of this player is $199. And the chain discount is 8, 4, and 3. Okay, going to go ahead and calculate for the net cost equivalent. Net cost equivalent is, let's find the complement at 8, 4, and 3, and that will be .92 times .96 times .97. So again, that's the complements of 8, 4, and 3, and then I move the decimal point 2 places to the left. If I multiply those complements, that will give me a net cost equivalent of .856704. Okay, then to calculate for the single discount equivalent, I'm going to subtract the net cost equivalent from 1. This would be 1.12345 and then .856704. Subtract that, and then that's going to give me the single discount equivalent of .143296. Okay, for the single discount equivalent, I want to take that times the list price of $199, and that's going to equal the trade discount amount of $28.52. That's trade discount amount. And then to calculate for the net price, I'm going to take the net cost equivalent of .856704 and then multiply it times the list price of $199, and that will equal your net price of $170.48. Okay, then finally number 3. Calculate that the same way. I have a scanner, and the scanner, the list price is $269, and the chain discount is 7, 3, and 1. And I am going to calculate for the net cost equivalent. I'm going to calculate for the single discount equivalent. I'm going to calculate for the trade discount. And I'm going to calculate for the net price. Okay. Okay, so first for the net cost equivalent, I'm going to find the complements of the chain discount, which is .93 times .97 times .99. That will give me the net cost equivalent of .893079. Do not round those numbers. Then to get the single discount equivalent, I am going to subtract the net cost equivalent from 1. And this single discount equivalent will give me .1.06921. Okay, so therefore the single discount equivalent is .106921. and then the trade discount amount is calculated by taking the single discount equivalent of 1.106921, multiplying that times the list price of $269, and then that will equal $28.76. And then to calculate the net price, then I'm going to just take the net cost equivalent of 0.893079. It's a net cost equivalent, and multiply that times the list price of $269, and that will equal $240.24. And that is the net price of your invoice. Okay, now we're going to simplify this a little bit as we move into numbers 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And so number 4, we have a treadmill. In this treadmill, the list price is $3,000. We have a chain discount of 9% and 4, and I'm going to calculate the net price and the trade discount. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the complement of the 9% and the 4%, so that's 0.91 times 0.96, and that's going to equal a net cost equivalent of 0.8736. Okay, so therefore if I take the net cost equivalent of 0.8736 and multiply that times $3,000, that's a list price, that will actually equal the net price of $2,620.80. Now technically all I have to do to find the trade discount is take the difference between the list price and the net price. It's an easy way to do it, but I'll go ahead and follow their instructions and take the single discount equivalent. To get the single discount equivalent, I take 1 and then subtract the net cost equivalent from 0.8736, which is your net cost equivalent, and then the single discount equivalent, what that actually relates to is 0.1264. Then I'll take 0.1264, multiply that times the list price, and then that will equal $379.20. Okay, so let's see. The net price is $2620.80, and then the trade discount amount is $379.20. Technically, if you subtract the $379.20 from $3,000, that would give you your net price of $2,620.80. Okay, now number 5, we have a Maytag dishwasher. And has a list price of $450, and it has a chain discount of 8, 5, and 6. Okay, first of all, to get the net price, I'm going to take the complements of 8, 5, and 6. That is 0.92 times 0.95 times 0.94. That equals the net cost equivalent of 0.82156. I'm going to multiply that times $450, the list price, and then that will equal the net price, NP for net price, of $369.70. Okay, technically, to get the amount of the trade discount, the amount of savings I had as a result of discounting this item, I could subtract the $369.70 from $450 and I would get my trade discount of $80.30. But technically, all I have to do is take 1 and subtract the net cost equivalent from that. And then that would give me the single discount equivalent of 0.17844. Then multiply that times the list price of $450, and that would equal the trade discount of $80.30. Okay, now the next problem, number 6. We have a camera. Okay, this camera has a list price of $320, and it has a chain discount of 3%, 5%, and 9%. I'm going to take the complement of each one of those discounts and multiply them together to give you the net cost equivalent of 0.97 times 0.95 times 0.91. That equals the net cost equivalent of 0.838 565. Then I'm going to multiply that times the list price of $320, and that's going to give me the net price NP of $268.34. Again, just take the difference between the net price and the list price, and that would give you the trade discount of $51.66. But you can also take that from the single discount equivalent. To do that, I'm just going to subtract 1 from 1. I'm going to subtract the net cost equivalent of 0.838565, and then that's going to give you the single discount equivalent of 0.161435. Multiply that times the list price of $320, and that will equal the trade discount, the savings of $51.66. Okay, then finally number 7. we have a Land Rover roof rack. And this Land Rover has a list price of $1,850. Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay, chain discount of 12, 9, and 6. I'm going to take the complements of each one of those discounts, which would be 0.88 after I move the decimal point 2 places to the left, times 0.91 times 0.94. And that will give me a net cost equivalent of 0.752. 752. Multiply the net cost equivalent times the list price of $1,850, and that will give you the net price of $1,392.59. Subtract the net price from the list price of $1,850 to give you the trade discount amount of $457.41, or subtract the net cost equivalent from the whole number of 1, that will give me the single discount equivalent of 0.247, 248. I'll multiply the single discount equivalent times the list price of $1,850. That will give me the trade discount amount of $457.41. Okay, now we're going to do a couple of comparisons on number 8. Which of the following companies, A or B, gives a higher discount? Use the single discount rate to make your choice, and then convert your equivalent rate to the nearest hundredth of a percent. So therefore, company A versus company B. Okay, company A has a chain discount of 8%, 10%, 15%, and 3%. Company B has a chain discount of 10%, 6%, 16%, and 5%. Okay, I'm first going to find the net cost equivalent and then subtract the net cost equivalent from whole number of 1 to give me the single discount equivalent, and then move my decimal point 2 places to the right. That is it, and I'm going to find out which one gives me the highest discount as a result of this. First of all, I'm going to find the complement of company A, which is 0.92 times 0.9 times 0.85 times oops, that was supposed to be a times. Okay, so 0.92 times 0.9 times 0.85 times 0.97. And so my net cost equivalent is equal to 0.682686. I'm going to subtract that from the whole number of 1, and that's going to give me the single discount equivalent of 0.3 317 314. And then all I do from here is move my decimal point 2 places to the right, which gives me 31.73%. Okay, now I want to work on company B. And company B has the complement of 10, 6, 16, and 5 is 0.9 times 0.94 times 0.84 times 0.95. That's going to equal a net cost equivalent of 0.675 108. I'm going to subtract that from a whole number of 1, and that's going to equal the single discount equivalent of 0.32 4892. Then move the decimal point 2 places to the right to equal 32.49%. So therefore, company B generates the highest discount of 32.49% over company A's 31.73%. Company B is the company of choice. Excuse me. Okay, now let's go ahead and take a look at the invoices on number 9. We have an invoice that has an invoice date of June the 18th. And the terms, I'll put invoice date right here. Okay, and then the terms is a 1% discount if taken within 10 days, but the net's due in 30. Okay, and the last day, the final discount date, and then the net payment date. Put net payment date right here. Goodness gracious. Okay. Okay, so for this particular problem, change the ink a little bit, and this is the ordinary dating method. Remember, there are 4 methods: the ordinary dating method, the extra dating method, the end of the month or Proximo method, and then the date that the goods are received method. Since this is an ordinary format, I'm going to start with January the 18th, or excuse me, it's not January, June the 18th, and then add the number of days in the terms of 10, which is equal to June. 18 plus 10 is June the 28th. So June the 28th is the final discount date. Okay, now it says that the net is due in 30 days without any type of discount. So I'm going to start with June the 18th plus 30 days, and that equals June the 48th. Well, obviously June 48 does not exist. So 30 days has September, April, June, and November. I'm going to subtract 30 days from June to give me 18 days in July, which does exist. So July the 18th is the net payment date without a discount. Okay, number 10. The invoice date is November 27th. And the terms is a 2% discount if taken within 10 days from the end of the month, EOM or Proximo. We are to find the final discount date and the net payment date without a discount. Okay, therefore, remember whenever you're using the end of the month method, the format indicates that. We use the actual invoice date, but if it's the 25th or greater in the month, you skip all of December and go to the following month of January. So we're going to go to January. Plus the number of days in the terms equals January the 10th for the final discount date. Now it doesn't have a net payment date, so with all invoice methods that do not have a net payment date, you add 20 days to the final discount date. So January 10th plus 20 days equals January the 30th for the net payment date without a discount. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the next one. Our invoice date is scheduled for May the 15th. And the date that the goods are received is June the 5th, and the terms are 3% discount if taken within 10 days. Net is due within 30 days. ROG. So there's a format that indicates to me that this is a receipt of goods, and we want to find the final discount date and the net payment date without a discount. Okay, since our terms are ROG for receipt of goods, I want to use the date that the goods are received of June the 5th, and I do not want to pay any attention to the May 15th date. So I'm going to start with June the 5th and add 10 days to give me June the 15th for the final discount date. Okay, it does give me a net date, so I'm going to start with June the 5th again, the date that the goods were received, plus 30 days, and that equals June the 35th. I'm going to subtract out 30 days in June since 35 doesn't exist, and that'll give me 5 days in July. And so July the 5th is the net payment date without a discount. Okay, number 12. Okay, our invoice date is April the 10th, and the terms are a 2% discount if taken within 10 days, a 1% discount if taken in 30 days, but the net is due in 60 days. We still want to find out the final discount date and the net payment date without a discount. Okay, so these are ordinary terms, and so we'll start with the invoice date. Even if a receipt of goods date was listed, we wouldn't pay attention to it because this is not representative of a receipts of good format. This is an ordinary dating method. So we're going to start with April the 10th. And add 10 days from the terms to give us April the 20th. And April 20th represents a 2% discount. Okay, then we start with April 10th again, plus 30 days in the terms gives us April the 40th, which does not exist. So I'm going to subtract 30 days from April to give me 10 days in the next month of May. So May 10th is the final discount date for a 1% discount. And then again April the 10th plus 60 days in the terms gives me April the 70th. 70 days doesn't exist, so I'll subtract 30 days from April to give me 40 days in May. 40 days does not exist in May, so I'll subtract 31 days to give me 9 days in June. Okay, so June the 9th is the net payment date without a discount, and you have two final discount periods, and the first discount period is April the 20th, and the second final discount date, and that's for a 2% discount, and then May 10th is the second discount for a 1% discount. Now the question actually says the last day of the discount period, so the final answer on that one would be May the 10th. Okay, number 13. June the 12th is the invoice date. And the terms are a 3% discount if taken within 10 days from the end of the month, EOM or Proximo, by the way. And we're looking for the final discount date and the net payment date without a discount. So June 12th, that's before the 25th, so we just go to the next month, which is July, plus the number of days in the terms, which is 10, equals July the 10th. Then add 20 days to give us July the 30th for the net payment date without a discount. Okay, and then the very last problem. I think I can probably go ahead and put this one on this page. I'll just change the color. And the invoice date is January the 10th. And the terms, the date that the goods are received is February 3rd with no leap year. And the terms is a 4% discount if taken within 10 days with a net 30 ROG. Excuse me. Okay, since this is a receipt of goods, I'm not going to pay any attention to the actual invoice date. I want to use February 3rd, the date that the goods are received, since this is a receipt of goods format. Okay, so I'll start with February the 3rd, add 10 days to give me February the 13th, and that's going to be the final discount date. Since there is a net date that the payment is due, I'll start with February 3rd again and add 30 days, and that equals February the 33rd, which does not exist. I'm going to subtract 28 days out of February, which will give us 5 days in March. So March the 5th is the net payment date. Alrighty, now let's go ahead and take a look at the next section, numbers 15, 16, 17, and 18. And I'm just actually going to work through one of these. I want to work through one that actually has a freight charge. So they basically were sending this FOB shipping point, indicating that we add the freight charge, but we need to subtract it out whenever we calculate for any type of the for any of the discounts. So this is a gross amount. Of $7,000. Okay, the freight charge is $100, and we have the date of the invoice, of April 8th, and we have terms of the invoice, a 2% discount if taken within 10 days, but the net is within 60 days. And the date of payment is April the 15th. And we are going to find the amount of the discount and the net price on the invoice. So basically I am going to subtract out my freight charge. That's going to be the very first thing that I do. Oh, first of all, let me determine if I can take a discount. I'm going to, the date of my invoice is April 8th in its ordinary terms, and if everything is applicable, I can take a 2% discount if paid within 10 days, but the net is due within 60. So April 8th plus 10 days is April the 18th, and I paid on April the 15th, so therefore I can take that 2% discount. So therefore, I'm going to subtract $100, my freight charges, since I'm using FOB shipping point, and I'm going to base everything on $6,900. I'm not going to apply the discount to the freight charge. So $6,900, and I'm going to multiply that times the complement of 2%, which is 0.98, and then that will give me $762, and I'm going to add the freight charges back into the end. So the total amount due on the invoice is $6,862. It's a 6. Okay, I'm going to move on down and skip a few right there because those are very similar. But the main thing is to subtract your freight charge out to calculate your discount, and then add it back in to apply the net price that the buyer owes once they receive the goods. Okay, I'm going to move down to number 19, and I'm just going to work one of these problems right here. And the amount of the invoice is $700. The terms of the invoice is a 2% discount if taken within 10 days, but the net is due within 60. The invoice date is May the 6th. And partial payment on this invoice was made on, the amount, May the 6th, okay, the partial payment amount is $400, and then the date of partial payment is May the 15th. And I want to find the amount to be credited and the balance outstanding. First of all, I want to see if I can apply the discount for this partial payment. And my date is May the 6th, and there's 10 days in the terms, so May 6th plus 10 days is May the 16th, and I made a partial payment on May the 15th. So I can take a 2% discount on this partial payment that I'm making. I can't pay the whole amount. I'm going to make a partial payment, but the first thing I have to calculate for is the amount that I want to credit this particular invoice. So to do that, I'm going to solve for the base. The base is equal to the part divided by the rate, and the partial payment is $400. And do not use 2% as the rate because that applies only to the discount and not even to the partial payment. So in order to apply the rate, use the complement of 2%, which is 98%, and then move the decimal point 2 places to the left. And this will give you the base, which is the amount to be credited. And that equals 400 divided by 98 is $408.16. Okay, so that's the amount to be credited. I'm going to subtract that amount from the amount of the invoice to find out the balance due. Okay, so that is $700 for the total amount of the invoice. And then I'm going to subtract out the amount to be credited of $408.16. And the balance due on the invoice after the discount was applied to the partial payment is $291.84. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the summary practice test at the end of the chapter. And we'll just do portions of it. You can catch, there's a video that's built into Connect of each one of these problems, but I'll just do one part out of each section. Number 1 is an Apple iPod. And this iPod has a list price of $350. Okay, the single trade discount is 5%. And the net price is to be determined. Okay, on this particular item right here, all I do to calculate for the net price is to take the complement of 5%, so I'm going to take $350 and multiply that times the complement of 5%, which is 0.95, and then this will give me the net price of $332.50. Okay. Now I could have taken the $350 times 0.05. That would have given me the amount of the discount. Then I could subtract the amount of the discount from the list price to give me the net price. Okay, I will go ahead and do number 2 because we don't know the list price. We're going to be solving for it. And we do have a single trade discount of 10%. And the net price is $190. We do know that. Okay, but I don't know the base. So all I have to do to calculate for the list price for this Palm Pilot is I need to calculate for the base, since that's what I'm comparing this to, because the net price is a portion. So I'm going to take $190, base is equal to part divided by rate, and the net price is a portion is $190. And I'm going to divide that by the rate of the single trade discount is 10%. I don't want the amount of the discount. I want, as it was applied to the net price, I want the full amount. So I'm going to take the complement of 10%, which is 90% or 0.9, after you move the decimal point 2 places to the left. And then that would give me the base of $211.11. Okay, that's going to move me down to the next question, number 3. Here's a Sony, and it's list priced at $899, and a chain discount of 5% and 4%. So we'll start with the Sony, and the Sony is $899. And it has a chain discount of 5%. And a 4% discount, and we want to know the net price, and we want to know the trade discount. Okay. So technically, one of the things that I could do to kind of simplify this particular problem is I can take $899 and multiply it times the complement of 5, which is 0.95, and multiply that result times the complement of 4, which is 0.96, and then that will equal the net price of $819.89. Then take the difference between the net price and the list price of $899, and that would give me a trade discount of $79.11. Okay, the next one, it's more invoices, and the date of the invoice in the terms, and the final discount date, and the net payment date without a discount. Okay, the first date of invoice is November the 4th, and the terms is a 2% discount if taken within 10 days, but the net is due in 30 days. We're going to find the discount, final discount date, and the end of the credit period, or the net payment date. Okay. So therefore, I'm going to take November 4th plus 10 days will give me November the 14th. Then I can take November the 4th plus 30 days in the net, and that will give me November 34th, minus 30 days in November to give me 4 days in December. Okay, December the 4th would be the net payment date. Alrighty, now for the next question is we have October 3rd for the date of the invoice. Okay, it's not letting me write. Why? That's going to be, oh, it's because I'm in eraser mode. Let's try that. Okay, October the 3rd is the date of the invoice, and the terms is 3% discount if taken within 10 days, and then the net is due in 30 based upon the receipt of goods. So the goods were received on March 10. We need to find the final discount date and the net payment date. Okay, so therefore, since the terms is receipt of goods, don't pay any attention to October the 3rd, use March the 10th. Take March the 10th plus 10 days in the terms equals March 20th. That's your final discount date. Then take March the 10th, the date that the goods were received, plus 30 days gives you March the 40th. There's only 31 days in March, so that leaves 9 days in April. So April the 9th is your net payment date. Okay, then May 2 is the date of this invoice, and it is a 2% discount if taken within 10 days, EOM or Proximo, which is end of the month. And since this is May the 2nd, I'm just going to go to the next month of June, add the number of days in the terms of 10, and that will equal June the 10th, which is your final discount date. Okay, June the 10th plus 20 additional days equals June 30th for the net payment date. Okay, then finally we have November the 28th. Since it's past November the 25th for this end of the month term, this is a 2% discount if taken within 10 days from the end of the month. We want to find the final discount date and the net payment date. November 28th is past the 25th, so what I'm going to do is skip December and go to January. And use the number of days in the terms. So January the 10th is your final discount date. Then add 20 days to it since it doesn't have a net payment date, and that'll equal June 30 for the net payment date. I'm sorry, January. January, didn't mean June, I meant January 30th. Sorry about that. Alrighty, let's go ahead and take a look at number 5. Best Buy buys an iPod from a wholesaler with a $300 list price. So here's an iPod for $300 for the list price. And a 5% trade discount. What is the trade discount amount, and then what is the net price? Okay, based upon the information that we've been given right here, we are going to take $300 and we're going to multiply that times the complement of 5%, which is 95, and then this complement will give us the list price of the iPod, which is $285. Now if I took 300 and took it times 5%, or 0.05 after you move the decimal point to the left, this would give us a trade amount, the amount of the discount. And the amount of the discount is just $15. Okay, number 6. Jordan's of Boston sold Lee Company of New York computer equipment with a $7,000 list price. Sale terms were a 4% discount if taken within 10 days, with a net of 30. With the freight on board, or FOB, Boston. So that'd be shipping point. Jordan's agreed to prepay the $400 freight. Lee pays the invoice within the discount period. What does Lee pay Jordan's? Okay, so first of all, since we did pay the invoice within the discount period, that was the assumed statement that was in there, I am going to subtract out the whoa. Let me read that again. Jordan's of Boston sold Lee Company of New York computer equipment with a $7,000 list price. Sale terms were the 4% discount if taken within 10 days with the net due in 30. FOB Boston. So Jordan's is in Boston, so this is shipping point. And they sold Lee Company of New York that computer equipment for Lee's price, for the list price. So Jordan's of Boston agreed to prepay the $400. Lee pays the invoice within the discount period. What does Lee pay Jordan's? So I'm just going to use the list price because it hasn't been added in. So I'm going to take $7,000 and I'm going to multiply that times the complement of 4%, which is 96%, or 0.96, and then that's going to give us the net price of $6,720. And then since whenever they receive the goods, they're going to have to pay for the freight, so I'm going to add $400 to that. So that makes the total amount $7,120. Okay, number 7. Julie Ring wants to buy a new line of Tonka trucks for her shop. Manufacturer A, call it Menu A, offers a 14% discount and an 8% chain discount. Manufacturer B offers a 15% and a 7% chain discount. Both manufacturers have the same list price, so which manufacturer should Julie buy from? Well, all you have to do is find the complement of each one of those chain discounts. So the first one is 0.86 times 0.92, and that gives you a net cost equivalent of 0.7912. I'm going to subtract that from 1. To give me the single discount equivalent of 0.2088. Okay, so basically 14% and 8% is equivalent to 20.9% when you round to the nearest tenth. Okay, then in manufacturer B, the complement of 15% is 0.85 times the complement of 7, which is 0.93, and that's going to give me a net cost equivalent of 0.7905. I'm going to subtract 0.7905 from whole number 1. Okay, this is the net cost equivalent, remember, and I want to find the single discount equivalent, and that will give me 0.2095, and move the decimal point 2 places to the right to make it 20.95%. Okay, so that means that manufacturer B provides just a little bit better of a discount. Not much, hardly any at all. Okay, then number 8, Office.com received an $8,000 invoice dated April 10th. Okay, terms is a 2% discount if taken within 10 days, a 1% discount if taken within 15 days, and the net is due in 60 days. On April 14th, Office.com sent a partial payment. This was a $1,900 partial payment, and they sent this on April the 14th. What credit should Office.com receive, and then what is the outstanding balance rounding to the nearest cent? Okay, first of all, April 10th is the date of the invoice, and so April the 10th plus 10 days in the terms equals April the 20th for a 2% discount. And then April the 10th plus 15 days from the terms is April the 25th, April 25th for a 1% discount. And then the net is due in 60, so April 10th plus 60 days equals April the 70th. Excuse me. Subtract out 30 days. Give us 40 days in May. Minus 31 days in May gives us 9 days in June. So June the 9th is the final date that we can pay without any type of discount. Okay, it does go on to say that we made a partial payment on April the 14th, and so we're able to take the 2% discount right there. So I'm going to solve for the base. And the base is equal to part divided by rate, and I'm going to take my partial payment of $1,900 and divide that by my rate of 2%, but I'm going to use a complement of 2%, which is 98%. 0.98, and that's going to give me the amount to be credited to my account. So 1900 divided by 0.98 gives me the amount to credit to the account of 1938.78. That's the amount to be credited. I'm going to subtract that from the amount of the invoice of $8,000. And this is the outstanding balance. The outstanding balance is $6,061.22. Okay, this concludes Chapter 7 for the drill problems at the end of the chapter and the summary practice test.